Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Type 1 versus Type 2 Gold Eagle. Let's compare. Yes, indeed, what you're looking at before you here are the two different designs for the American Gold Eagle program. As you know, the Gold Eagle as well as the Silver Eagle, those designs were changed in 2021 mid-year. Originally, they were supposed to be changed at the beginning of the calendar year. Well, the U.S. Mint got behind, so therefore they were able to monopolize on the final design for 2021. So the coins that you see before you here are of the same year. Now, before I get into this, as is the case with the Silver Eagle, there have been some slight modifications throughout the years since the inception of the bullion gold and Silver Eagle programs. So there have been some slight little changes here and there. But for all intents and purposes, this design, which is known as the family of eagles, has been constant throughout the series, and many of you know that I am not a fan of this design. Never thought that it matched the obverse, which is the St. Gaudens, a rendition of the St. Gaudens coin. It's actually been slightly modified and brought out a bit more details. It actually looks pretty good in this rendering here of St. Gaudens' work, but slightly enhanced to meet the die requirements and to bring out some detail as well. But we'll talk about that here momentarily. Let's take a look at this side here. And again, I'm not a fan, but of course that's a personal opinion. I just think it doesn't match the composition. It also doesn't appear to be quite as sharp as the other side. You know, there's just lacks, I think, in some ways. But nonetheless, it is the design that we've come to know, and some of us love, but we have gotten used to it for sure. But is this the design that we were going to be stuck with or appreciate for years and years to come? No. They decided to change the reverse and also to add some security features. And we didn't know, and we still don't know, really, the full scope of what those security features mean. But here is the new design. It went from a family of eagles down to just one eagle, and only a part of that eagle, merely the head. But nonetheless, there has been some criticism and some praise of this design as well. It is one of my biggest, probably the biggest criticism I have is it does not match the obverse. It is not a good complement to the obverse. But it is actually much more detailed in the rendering of the eagle's head, for sure, except for the eye. That eye is very weird in my opinion. It's a basically hollowed out crater in there, and but nonetheless that could be part of a security feature, but I'm not seeing anything in that eye that stands out to make me think that it's a security feature. But there's a lot of speculation there as about security features, and we're going to talk a little bit about what is the security feature. Well, the security feature is, as far as we know, it is just this. It is the missing reed that you see here, and that is the security feature that is on the gold and silver eagles, and that is it, a missing reed, and at least that we can see here. That's all we have to show for it, is a missing reed and all of the reeds there. But nonetheless, there are no other real indications of any security features. I will talk about that in a separate video, but basically that is one of the differences there, an attempt at security by the United States Mint. We can see that obviously because the nature of what is this design, they've had to move some of the text around, but the text appears to be, if you compare, relatively similar. There might be some slight changes in the serifs, but it's relatively similar there. They do use $50 as a denomination, and they spell out the word dollar, so that's similar in a comparison. And it says 1 ounce fine gold, and that is the same designation that we see here on both coins. And this side has 5 stars, and this side has no stars, but they both say "In God We Trust," but just in a different placement because of the eagle head there. Obviously, different engravers, different artists behind the coin's design, but I do like the addition of the stars, and I wonder if there's a significance to 7 there, which may lend us to think that possibly could be, as we take a look and compare the obverses of these coins. The obverse of the front design, as you can see, are similar, but there's enough difference that you can see, even with the naked eye here, as we take a look at this. What is the one thing, probably the biggest thing, which I had kind of missed before, but it is missing stars on this right here. There's some stars missing where they are appearing here. There's only 46 stars on the, and there's some stars missing, right, I guess there's there, but there's 46 stars, as was the case with the original St. Gaudens design, and this design harkens back to the original. A little thicker arm, a little less detail, a little kind of rougher around the garment, around the legs there, and somewhat of a missing foot on this side. We're going to actually look at the foot's detail on this, which I thought was a good addition to be able to provide some definition. Look at the Capitol building and that left foot, her right foot. We're looking at the left foot facing her there, the one on the bottom there of the coin next to the star. That foot there shows some nice definition with the toes. And then you can see the Capitol there with some definition as well too. I guess looking back to the original design, the Capitol wasn't quite as detailed, although that doesn't look terribly bad, but you can see that this foot is just the ghost of a foot, sort of, and kind of lacking the detail of toes there. So that is a missing thing that I think they should have kept. You want to try to harken back to the original design, and that's fine. There's not that much difference. I kind of like the detail and quality, because I think those features may be put in place to kind of help to enhance the coin. The face typically looks a little bit better. The eyes kind of look a bit sunken in, almost as if Lady Liberty is zombified a bit, but that may have been the case on the original. And I don't know, around her lower lip, it does appear to be like she's got almost like 2 mouths, or maybe a scoop out on the chin. Let's take a look at the face features on the Type 1 Gold Eagle and see what they look like there. The nose is a bit flat and kind of puffed out a little bit there, especially at the ridge of the nose, which is a little unfortunate, but otherwise I think it's a little more defined here. I kind of like the look of that face. It's a little bit more feminine and smooth, whereas this face tends to be a little bit more gaunt looking, kind of a strange appearance there. A little factoid here. The Lady Liberty that posed for this was actually a black American lady, an attractive black looking lady. I think that's wonderful, and I think that's great. Many people don't realize that. But nonetheless, the other differences here, look at the branch that she's holding there, and the way that those branches go up over the Y in Liberty. You can see that there. Now look at it here on the Type 1. You can see that it doesn't go over the Y, it's just next to the Y. So that's a pretty big difference there. You can see how the branch is not quite as pronounced either. I think that's a more realistic look at a branch, whereas this branch appears to show thicker and larger to a degree. and it kind of goes up over that Y, which is a little bit kind of awkward, I think. And so you look at the branch, and also how it comes closer to the ray there on the new eagle, on the type 2. There's other things about the torch. The torch is a little bit thicker, and the flame appears to be a little less pronounced than it was on the type 1. I don't know, that could be a sign of something or a hidden message, who knows? I'll leave that up to your interpretation, but nonetheless, there is the big difference there between the two of the obverse of both sides. And it's interesting. Even the rock that she's on has a little different shape. It's not quite as pronounced. It's like it's kind of carved back, just a slightly different shape there. The date is also a little bit different there, and the Augustus St. Gaudens signature appears to be kind of to the right here on the type 2. Augustus St. Gaudens signature is to the right and on that ray, whereas here it is to the left and just between the rays. So you probably have spotted other slight differences as well between them, but this video, as promised, to compare the Gold Eagle, type 1 and type 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I'm going to turn these over so that you can again see the old and new designs. You have a clear look at them. From type 1 and type 2, Gold Eagles. There you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and compare.